Hi YouTube family. Welcome back to Movies Recap. Today I will show you an action, adventure, sci-fi film from 2013, titled Oblivion. Jack dreams about Earth before the war, the way he has seen it only in pictures. He sees a woman that smiles at him, which he has never met. He has strong feelings for her, as if he wasn't experiencing a dream, but a memory. Jack wakes up in his present, in the year 2077. 5 years since, a mandatory memory wipe, though still haunted by the same dreams. Him and Victoria were assigned to Earth for a mission, which will be complete in 2 weeks, and they could join the others. They are very different. He is curious, when she isn't. The alien species, the Scavengers, decimated Earth's moon half a century ago and wanted to take over the planet because theirs was dying. The Earth was thrown into chaos without the moon. Earthquakes and tsunamis had completely destroyed it when the invasion came. The remaining humans used nuclear weapons and won the war, but the planet was left mostly uninhabitable. The survivors left and built the TET, a temporary space station, before the migration to one of Saturn's moons, Titan. Everyone had already been displaced there, while Jack and Victoria stayed on Earth to protect the hydro rigs, which convert water to energy. The survival of humanity depends on it. Scavengers that are still on Earth continue to fight and disrupt their operation, attacking the drones and him. Their mission control calls them an effective team. Victoria is his communication officer and he is tech support for the drones. She is excited to go to Titan, but he feels like Earth is still his home. Jack enters his vessel to go on his daily patrol. He engages all the systems and checks with Victoria, then lifts of. Jack confirms the visual of the hydro rigs. Suddenly Victoria informs him that they have 2 drones down. Mission comes online and Victoria establishes communication with TET, informing Sally about the drones. She relays the information to Jack and links his vessel to its beacon. He follows it through a storm when lightning strikes the vessel and he loses control for a moment, falling down. Meanwhile, Victoria tries to convince Mission Control that they need new parts for a few drones that are down. She's given their directive for the day is to fix drone 166 and find 172. Jack spins out of control and is about to pancake on the ground when he suddenly gets control back and pulls up. He comes up to the location of the first drone. Before he lands, Victoria checks for scavenger activity, but she has limited visibility. Jack lands close to the drone, grabs what he'll need to fix it and tells Victoria to watch his back. As he's working on the drone and talking to her on comms, someone is watching him. She tells him that he can't fix the drone, but he uses his chewing gum and manages to get it working. Before the drone powers up, Victoria notices something on her monitors. Jack turns around only to find a dog. The drone comes online and Jack scares away the dog so it doesn't kill it. He gives the drone his ID and it doesn't engage with him. It scans the place where the people were watching it from, then blasts off. Jack stops to eat lunch and talks to Victoria about the scavengers getting bolder. She says that once the 2 of them are gone, they'll only have dust and radiation. He decides to look for the second drone on the ground and takes out his bike. Jack rides through the desolate landscape where once there was water. He gets a faint signal from the drone somewhere in front of him, but he doesn't see it. However, he finds a sinkhole where he thinks the drone might have fallen into. He informs Victoria that he'll go inside to find it and she says that TT will come offline in 15, so he will be on his own. Jack attaches a rope to his bike and climbs down. The scavengers are still observing him from the distance. Victoria requests drone back up to his location. Jack carefully lowers himself down. He can hear the drone and finally see it, but control doesn't hear him anymore. When he tries to approach the drone, he almost falls over, then uses a fallen beam as a bridge to get to it. He reaches the signal and finds the beacon, but no drone. Scavengers capture him and pull him in, but he manages to shoot their rope and free himself. He sees a few and shoots at them when they suddenly pull away the beam. He jumps over the gap as they are getting closer on his trail. Once he's safely on the other side, he locks himself to his rope and pulls himself up, but someone shoots and breaks it, so he plummets back into the sinkhole. It seems like all is lost as they close in, then suddenly a drone shows up and begins scanning, then blasting the place up, terminating the scavengers. Drone 166 scans him again, but it doesn't recognize his ID at once. Jack finds a book on the ground and takes it with him. Once he reaches the top, he sees that his bike has been stolen by the scavengers. Jack manages to get himself home. While he showers, he has another memory of New York. He's doing some repairs on a drone when he decides to take a look at the book. Victoria interrupts him. She is preparing lunch as the sun is going down behind them. Jack gives her the flowers he's been lugging around and she goes outside and throws it out, telling him that it might contain toxins. While they have dinner, he tells her that the scavengers weren't trying to kill him but to catch him. Maybe he is different and that he would be able to help if he found a way to bring him back. Jack activates the drone and Beach says that he would love to be on TT to see its face when the nuke goes off. It would be a one-way trip, but it would be worth it. The scavengers prepare the drone for its final mission and open the gates. Unfortunately, the 3 drones are already there. They come inside and wreak havoc on the place. Everyone fights them, but the machines are stronger and they take out many of the humans. Beach destroys one, but not before it can hurt him and destroy the drone with the nuke. Sykes destroys the second drone and Jack the third. When they realize that their plan has failed, Julia make up another one. She says that since the TT asked him to bring her up, he could take her in a pod and carry the nuke that way. The two of them say goodbye in front of a painting that reminds her of home. Then they prepare a pod with the explosive device and Jack lays Julia down in the pod. He tells her to dream of them and closes the pod. He drags it to his vessel and sets a course to TT. During the flight, he plays the recording from the ship and remembers everything. He was the commander of the ship and Sally was the actual NASA mission control during that mission. Victoria was his co-pilot. The rest of the crew, including Julia, were in hibernation. Jack approaches TT in the present and he tells her that he's bringing it the survivor. It grants him entry. Back in his memory, they approach TT, but when they realize that the object is pulling them in, Jack decides to eject the hibernation module. Him and Victoria get taken into TT. He enters it in the present as well. It sends drones on him, but he convinces it to let him get closer. On the way to TT's control, he sees the many clones of himself and Victoria. TT welcomes him home as he lands next to it. He takes out the pod and opens it. Beach pops out. Julia's pod opens as well, but she wakes in the house next to the lake. She didn't know he would take her there. Simultaneously, drones approach the surviving humans. Back in TT, Jack activates the nuke together with Beach and it is destroyed. All of its drones are destroyed as well. Sykes and Julia watch the explosion. 3 years later, Julia lives in the house with her daughter. Suddenly, the rest of the survivors appear at the lake. Jack 52 arrives with them as well. Jack has arrived home to his wife and child. Thanks for watching.